All right, so when it comes to testing your JPA queries, so remember I said that we get some methods by default when we extend the CRUD repository. So right here, what I'm going to do is create a test. So I'm going to create a test and issued and then save customer, right? So now inside of this test, I'm going to say given. So this is the pattern, and hopefully you can understand now what I mean given, when, then. So given a customer, so let's simply say customer, or actually new customer, right? And right here we have to pass the ID, so UID.random UID, and let's simply name this as Abel, and the phone number will be 000, right? So this is not a valid phone number, but you get the idea. Now if I put this full screen, and then if I extract all of this into a variable, so given a customer, and then when we actually call the under test, so this is when we actually perform the action. So when we save the customer, right? So now we save the customer, and now we need to say what happened. So what we want to assert, right? So first we want to check whether we can actually get the customer back, and then assert on every single field, right? So let's go ahead and simply here say we want to get the customer back. So under test dot and then find by ID right here, and the ID is this one. So let's extract this to a variable, so ID, and then pass ID right here, right? If I extract this to a variable, I'm going to name this as optional and then customer. There we go. So now we tried to get the customer back. So we've added the customer, and now we are trying to get it back so that we can perform some assertions. So let's go ahead and simply say assert and then that. So now we are using the assertion library that we have installed that Spring Boot test has given us, and right here it's red. So what I'm going to do is press option and then enter, and then import static method, or you can simply click on the little red bulb. There we go. And now I'm going to import the assertions.assert that from org.assertj.core API, right? So AssertJ is the assertion of choice, and it's very awesome. It has really cool methods that you can use to perform assertions. So right here, pick the first one, and let's simply say optional customer, and for now let's simply say dot is present. So if I now run this test, let's see if it passes. And you can see that it did pass, right? So it means that JPA actually works, right? Because we haven't written none of this code. So we haven't written the save method nor the find by ID. But right here, if I simply say is and then not present and then run this, the test should fail. And of course, right? So right here, you can see that what it says is expecting an empty optional but containing value and then this customer right here. So what we want to do here is the following. So we want to say is and then present. So let's put this on a new line, is present, and then dot has value and then satisfying, and this takes a consumer, and let's simply name this as C. Oops. Oh boy. So I'm having trouble there. So C for customer. And if you want to learn more about consumers, go ahead and check my functional course where I teach all about functions, by functions, predicates, so on and so forth. But right here, this is the customer that we get back from the database. Now I can say assert that, and then C dot get, and then ID dot is equal, and then 2, and then right here let's simply say ID, and then assert that C dot get name is equal to a bell, and let's simply say assert that C dot get phone number is equal to and 0000. There we go. And then end this with semicolon right there. Now if I go ahead and run the test again, this should pass. So just give it a second. There we go. So you can see that everything is working. Now I can simply change this to, let's say, 111. And this should fail, right? So right here, you can see that we have the error message here saying expecting 000, 0, actually 4 zeros, to be equal to 111. But the actual value was right here, right? So there we go. So you can see that this is working. So this is one way of asserting, right? But because I already have the customer right here, I can simply let me actually comment this so you have it. So I can simply say assert that, and then C dot is equal, comparing field by field, and then customer. So the customer that we get back from the database is equal, comparing field by field, from the original customer that we saved. If I run this, you can see that it works, right? So this is my preferred way of doing things when possible. This is all for now. If you have any questions on what we've done, drop me a message. Otherwise, I'll catch you on the next one.